Hello, Fiverr friends. My name is Beth, and this week I'll be talking about the Shark Week challenge that I'm currently working on, as well as a summer knit. Actually, I've got a couple of summer knits, including a new to me thing that came to me in a surprising way. So, after that, I will be going into the comments from last week's episode, and I am excited now to see that I've got quite a few new subscribers. So thank you to those of you who have subscribed to my channel. And thank you to Julie of the Knitty Cats. I believe that Julie's podcast might be an influencer of how I got to see more traffic on my channel. So if you have not seen the Knitty Cats, you should hop on over to their channel and check them out. Well, I say them, it's her, but I'll let her tell you in her own words how that came about. So for those of you who are new, I am Beth. I am a knitter and a teacher's aide from the suburbs of Chicago, and I like to knit wherever I go all the time. I wonder, I've never asked my husband how he feels about me knitting at restaurants and stuff like that. There are times that I would like to take my knitting out and do some knitting, but I feel like the people who are around might not think so kindly on it. So this coming school year, we are going to have early release on Wednesdays, and we're going to be having meetings after school. So I'm like, can I knit during those meetings? I hope so. And I don't know if all of the meetings will be all staff meetings, or if some of the meetings will be certified staff and the paraprofessionals will be doing something else. I don't know. So I guess we'll see. Should be interesting because I know there's going to be a different structure to my day next year. Anyhow, I did not mean to get off on that tangent. First, I've already done a first. I wanted to congratulate Stephanie, who reached out to me and made her choice for her award for the Burra Cowl KAL. These are the skeins that she chose, so I will be bringing them to her at the Frivolous and Frugal 3-ply mini meetup that's coming up at the end of this month. I am so looking forward to that. If any of you are in the area and haven't heard of it, or would like to come from outside the area and haven't heard about it, take a look into that. Frivolous and Frugal podcast is hosting it along with 3-ply Podcast, and I'm so excited to go to that. But those two podcasts, along with a large group of other podcasters who were at last year's meetup, are hosting this knit along, and all that information will be listed right here for you, as I have done in previous weeks. And we'd love to have you participate, and on with the show. The thing that I mentioned first was Shark Week. Shark Week is a knit along that's being hosted by the ladies of the Politically Incorrect Knitters, and it is a challenge to knit something in 1 week, and if you don't finish in that week, the shark gets you and you have to frog it. It would be a miracle if I did not finish my project within the week, because I am knitting a cowl and I am about 10 rounds from the finish on the row by row sampler cowl by Irene Designs. And Irene is one of the ladies of the Ply Podcast, and she made this pattern to benefit the meetup. So all sales for this benefit the meetup. It helps defray the costs of putting on this event that they hold annually. So that's why I chose to make this. So I am nearly finished with this. I do believe I have under-challenged myself. The yarn that I am using for this is Knitty McPurly Dubrovnik DK in the colorway Thistle. I do, as I have mentioned many times, love a good texture, and this certainly has that. So, anybody interested, you can find this pattern on Ravelry, and the yarn you can find from Knitty McPurly on her website. Next thing I wanted to talk about is my Lionshead tee. This is a pattern by Irina Anikeeva, and it is being knit in ModeSock mode. I'll put it on the screen because I can't remember what it's called, and for sure it's below. I have already done my show notes. I know. Oh, speaking of which, I have my show notes right here. I can look at it and tell you exactly what it is. It is Knit Yarn ModeSock Plus, and I believe that's a discontinued base, and the colorway is seaglass. I can even tell you the makeup of the yarn. It is 60% superwash merino, 30% bamboo, 10% nylon. And I love the drape of this. I love it. It's a good yarn. Anyhow, so this has a beautiful shoulder detail. I love a good texture. Have I said that yet? And last week when I was talking about this, I was talking about how I was worried that I had too much ease in this and that I wasn't going to like it. So what I have done since then is I have gone back to Ravelry to look at the completed projects that are on there of different knitters, and compared the size that they said they made with how many repeats of the chart it looks like they have. I'm on track. I am very confident now that unless they misreported something, I have done what I need to do to get the ease that I want on this. So I think this is going to be fitting me just right, and I'm very happy with how it's going. I'm measuring my gauge as I go, and I'm still getting the same measurement for each chart repeat. So I'm totally on track with this. And my misgivings from last week are re-giving. What's the opposite of misgiving? Anyhow, I'm goofy like that. Sorry if that's a problem. So that's that one. Previously, I recorded a little thing about the new to me thing, so I'm gonna go ahead and insert that right here. And then I'll come back and we'll go into comments. So this week's new to me is this lovely bit of orange. It came with a stitch holder in it, in this sleeve that I have now put on waste yarn so that I could put it on. I tried to put it on when I got it, but I went to stick my arm in the sleeve and went, whoop, Can't do that. My arm doesn't fit through a stitch holder. And it came with this yarn to finish it. So at Knit Night this week, one of the members of the larger group of knitters that shows up there had brought in 4 garbage bags full of yarn. And this, in this massive Ziploc bag, was in it. And I saw it, and of course, the color is what drew me. Look at this beautiful, I don't know what this yarn is. I don't know its composition. I don't know, it had no yarn band on it. And this is a nearly finished item. All it has is one sleeve to be done. Now, I do like longer sweaters, so I may add length to it. If anybody has seen this before, this pattern, oh, there's a buttonhole. I just realized that. This is the first time I noticed that. I wonder if there's some down, nope, just one. So it buttons at the top. That's the plan. Cute. So this has a reverse stockinette border on it, and the sleeve is the same. So all the hems are reverse stockinette, and I don't know what the pattern is. So if anybody recognizes this, if you've seen it somewhere, can you share the pattern name with me? I might be able to get some idea of where to start with a needle size for my sleeve that I need to do, and to pick up stitches at the bottom and knit it a bit longer. So I did see when this was brought in that there was a similar yarn. It had a similar feel to it. It was a similar weight that had a yarn band on it. One of the other members pointed that out to me, and the label said that it was machine wash and tumble dry. So I was like, ooh, even better. But I don't know for sure. It has, the one that I saw the yarn band on has some acrylic in it. So it's really nice. I like this a lot, and I don't have to do much to finish this up. So I'm excited about that. I probably could get some more information, but the person who brought these bags of yarn and stuff, she said that it was, I can't even remember. It was one of those in Ferris Bueller at the beginning of the movie. They say something like, my sister's boyfriend's ex-girlfriend's cousin said blah, blah, blah. And it was one of those where it was like a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend donated this. So I don't think she knows the person at all. So I'm sure if I asked, I could probably get more information on this. But I'm fine not knowing. I can figure this out. This is not rocket science here. So I just thought that was an interesting story. But I did do a twirl in it so you can see the whole thing in its entirety, and I will add that in here. And I'm excited to finish this. I think this is going to come up pretty soon on my whips, and I want to say thank you to the person who donated this, because you did most of the work for me. So I don't know. And I also was wondering, is this a child size? Because it is so short. So maybe this is like a child extra large. I don't know. And maybe it is just a cropped thing. But I love the color. I love the item, and I'm going to finish it. And now back to me. So the first comment I want to mention is from Stephanie, the winner of our beautiful husband dyed yarn. Is thank you. What an awesome prize/surprise. Looking forward to seeing the blue knit sideways tee. That's the Lionshead tee that I talked about earlier in the episode. And what I wanted to mention, last week I had talked about how my husband dyed some yarn and we never did anything with it, and that's why I'm giving it away as prizes. But my daughter was home last week. I don't remember whether or not I mentioned that, but she wasn't knitting because her wrist was hurting. So this is an injury that she got from cheer, which she only did 1 year of cheer, and now she has this lifelong injury. At least I say it like this is lifelong, and I mean, the girl is 23 years old, so it's not like she's had it for years and years and years. Well, at her age, that's a third of her life now. Anyhow, I hope something can be done about that. I hope she can get that fixed. But now she's interested in dyeing yarn, which I think would be, for her, I think it would be a great creative outlet. And I'm hoping maybe she can have like a little side gig from that. And, maybe mom can get some benefit from that too. So, that's the first comment. Then, and of course, the first comment plus tangent, right? The next comment is also from a Stephanie. Stephanie of Texas Peach Knits said, thank you for mentioning my stash fluffing mal. If you don't know about that, you might want to go over and check out Texas Peach Knits here on YouTube. She said, I'm glad it's inspiring you. I'm also planning to use stash yarn for Shark Week. However, I'm knitting Wise Owl Knits Sharky pattern, which is definitely not on my radar earlier this year. But it is oh so cute, and my boys will cheer me on to knit faster. So Sharky is a little stuffed shark, and Stephanie is knitting it from green yarn. So I think that's interesting. She's gonna have a little green shark, and it looks super cute. And she's been talking about having intarsia problems, I think, because it's an intarsia. Wise Owl Knits is the one who has the pattern, so I would say look her up because it's an interesting pattern, and she also has a comment on here, so I'll be talking about that too. But I love the fact that she's knitting it in a color that is not standard shark color. I think that's kind of cool, making it, because it's a stuffed animal, it's sort of that cartoony stuffed animal kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, I never would have thought to do that. I am an inside the box thinker, and I would have thought, if I don't have gray yarn, I can't knit that. But I like the way you think, Stephanie. All right, Sharon says, I wish it was easier to get finished objects. That's in quotations. It's something I said on my video last week. And she says, me too. I have so many started things in bags that I really do want to finish, but it's a slow art, isn't it? If I could just avoid starting new things for a while. So true. So true, Sharon. I like new and shiny always gets me. Always. Selfish Knitter says, the construction of Irina is so fascinating. I will enjoy watching your progress on this. And then she says, darn those sideways knit tops, because I was having issues with them last week. Honestly, I think, speaking of this, after I finish the Shark Week challenge, my plan is to do nothing but summer knits. And I have 2 sideways knit tops plus a lacy top. I talked about all of that last week. And that's my plan, is to focus on those things next week. But Colleen, Selfish Knitter, her advice was that she said she would probably rip out the 2 that I'm having problems with and start over. And I am planning to rip out the Joni top. That one, I'm getting the wrong size. I got the wrong gauge. It's all wrong. But as far as the Lionshead tee, I think I'm on track with that one, as I said earlier. So that's that. And as always, thank you for commenting, Colleen. Susan says, "Hi Beth, so good to watch you this week. We were camping last week and had almost no service, and I feel like I'm way behind on my podcasts. I experienced that too when I was on vacation, and it had nothing to do with not being able, like technologically to see it. It was just, I'm on vacation. I'm not going to do what I usually do at home. I'm going to do vacation-y things." So, and I say that's always an excuse not to watch your regular podcasts. But yes, you get behind and then you have to catch up and you feel like you miss a bunch of stuff. And for me, I just go through my list of videos or channels that I'm subscribed to and just add them into my playlist, as I've mentioned on previous episodes. So Sharon is still deciding what to make for Shark Week, and now we're in the midst of Shark Week, and I'm sure that Sharon has something chosen. I don't remember seeing, wait, I said Sharon, I meant Susan. I don't remember seeing what she chose, but I'm sure it'll be amazing. I can't wait to see it. And then she also mentioned the picnic set and how she was so happy with the colorways that Carista came up with to go with the set, which totally summery, definitely picnic vibes, and I'm excited to make something with this, probably very summer sock-y. Is that a word? Socky. Wise Owl Knits joined in the conversation saying, "Beth, I love watching. My husband walked in the room and said, 'Hey, she loves green yarn just like you.'" So true. Green is my favorite. Thanks for another fun episode. And so, yeah, there's green. I haven't even shown this, but green. Green. I'm surrounded by green. I'm a green knitter. And what's funny about that is that, yes, I like green. And I think for some reason I've just seen more green yarn that interested me than I have of what I would consider to be my favorite color, which is turquoise. So I'm sure if you've been with me a while, you've seen some of the turquoise colors show up. And I like a good brown. I don't know what it is about like that. I guess it's like earth tones and jewel tones. So I like a combination of those things. So I like that we share that colorway thing. And I think too, I have noticed that a lot of the people that I watch, I gravitate toward them because I enjoy the colorways that they knit. I enjoy watching like them knit things in colors that I like. And sometimes too, I'll see a new pattern and be like, meh, not my thing. And then I'll see it in different colors and be like, oh, now I want to knit that. And also, sometimes I'll see something in real life that I had previously seen on a podcast, and seeing it in real life makes a big difference. I don't know what that is. So it's funny that like it doesn't come across as well on a screen as it does in person. I feel like that's the same thing. That's the same thing for personalities. I will say, I feel like people in real life, the way I relate to them is different than I do on screen or online or anything. I feel like, here's the thing. I feel like I'm a pretty good listener, if I say so myself. Like, I will listen to people and I will talk to them about what's happening in their world. And it's not the same when you're online because you're not listening, you're reading, and people tend to edit out some of the things that they might actually say in person. So, it's a weird tangent that I went on that I never expected to be on. Wow, okay, you guys. This is what it's like to have a brain that goes on tangents, and it's a very feminine quality. Anyhow, let's not get into any further on that before I get myself in trouble. Wendy says, that crochet sweater needs to go on my list of projects. Oh, wait a minute. Before I go on, I wanted to loop back to Wise Owl Knits. That was the comment that I read last. Please go give her a view too, because she's got a podcast where she's an amazing designer and she's got a lot of cool stuff. She's got this really cool cable-y, is it a poncho, I think? And I love the cables on that thing. It's just, texture gets me every time. But she's looking for test knitters, and I hate deadlines. Which is why I chose an easy project to do for Shark Week, you guys. I kind of knew that I was under challenging myself. So back to Wendy. That crochet sweater needs to go on my list of projects. I'd seen Carissa show it on her podcast. Then when I saw her in person wearing it, I fell in love with it. My problem is I need to learn to crochet. Thanks for doing what you do. Thanks for watching me. So the crochet project, did I mention it earlier in this episode? I feel like I mentioned it because Colleen mentioned it too. Anyhow, that was Rena, the Rena sweater. It is a combination of crochet and knit, mostly crochet, but the crochet goes by so fast you won't even know you did it. It is so simple to learn to knit or to crochet granny squares. I recommend to any of you who are knitters and not crocheters, go watch a video. It is so fast, and really the only other investment you would need is one crochet hook, the right size crochet hook to get gauge on this project. Although if you buy one crochet hook and you don't get gauge with that one, you're going to have to buy another one. Such is the nature of gauge. But I did have to do that. I ended up, I have crochet hooks because I've crocheted before. I started my fiber journey with crochet. Well, maybe not. I think what I started with, and I may have mentioned this previously, is it was a wooden thread spool with nails around the top. And any of you who've seen this, you'll know what I'm talking about. It basically makes an I-cord. You wrap your yarn around the nails that are on the top of this wooden spool, and then you use like a smaller crochet hook to lift the yarn off the nails and into the center, and then you have a tail coming down through the center of the spool, and you pull it as you go, and you just keep, and it's basically the same concept around the sock knitting machines that you see. Basically it's just looping over around and around, and then it comes down, and that's why there's a weight on the bottom so that it can just pull it down. Same thing. That's how I learned. That was my first fiber thing that I ever used. And then from there, I thought crochet would be the easiest thing to learn. And I thought it was interesting, like learning to crochet a chain. There was a time that I remember all I knew how to do was chain. And then I was like, well, how do you make a fabric out of it? I just know how to make a snake. And so, yeah, it went on from there. But, you know, as a child, I learned to crochet. And I think, Wendy, if you know how to knit, you can learn to crochet. And I know that you know how to knit because I've seen you work. So that's all the comments and everything for the week. I thank you again for stopping in and visiting with me, and I hope that you have fun things that you're working on. Remember, if you want to join the conversation and be part of my episode next time, please comment below. I'm open to talking about anything. It doesn't even have to be something that we talked about in this week's episode. And until next time, like, subscribe, survive, and thrive. Thanks for watching.